In my video going over the true power of the 7th Hokage version of Naruto, which I will leave linked in the end credits of this video, I asked you guys if you wanted to see a separate video going over every variation of Naruto's Rasengan, since there's enough variations that it warranted its own video. You guys have answered the call to action with an overwhelming yes, and so here we are breaking down every major variation of Naruto's Rasengan. Now, Naruto fans know that this is his signature move. The Rasengan was created by his late father, the 4th Hokage, Minato Namikaze. Though it took Minato 3 years to learn the jutsu, Naruto learned all the basic steps of the jutsu and mastered it in considerably less time while he trained with Jiraiya. For a small refresher on just what the Rasengan is, I'll keep this very short. As stated in Naruto chapter 321, the Rasengan was created by Minato with the intention of making it the highest form of chakra shape transformation, and it doesn't require hand seals to use, and the compressed ball of rotating chakra was stated by Jiraiya in chapter 143 as possessing more destructive force than the Shidori. The jutsu is learned in 3 stages: rotation, which focuses on spinning chakra in multiple directions all at once; power, which focuses on building up the density and the volume of the chakra; and finally compression, which brings all of the things that you learned before into one step to compress the chakra. Now that we got this all out of the way, let's start with the different variations of the Rasengan. And for the format of this video, I'm not going to do them all chronologically, but instead I'm going to cover the jutsu as I personally find them to be the most interesting. Starting things off is the Sage Art Magnet Release Rasengan that Naruto learned towards the end of the manga. This jutsu combines Naruto's Sage's 6-pass mode power and the magnet release of the One Tails. This results in a jutsu that can not only do damage to an enemy, but also serves as a sealing jutsu, which I always found to be really cool since Naruto's clan was so feared for their sealing jutsu that it took several nations teaming up to wipe them out. When the jutsu connects on an enemy, it hits with the power of a regular Rasengan, but it spreads a cursed seal across his body that restricts the movements of a target. Up next is another Kekkei Genkai based Rasengan, which is the lava release Rasenshuriken. I remember the first time I saw that jutsu being whipped out in the manga. I totally popped when it was being shown off. The Rasengan alone is pretty damn powerful, but Naruto adding lava release to the jutsu was just insane. This jutsu takes lava from the Four Tails and it adds it to the nucleus of the Rasenshuriken. The heat is so great that the blades of the jutsu suddenly begin to give off steam. If Naruto wills it to, both the blades and the nucleus can expand in size and destructive force, and it was enough that it could casually cut through the God Tree cleanly. The combination of wind chakra and lava chakra is easily one of Naruto's most impressive combos in my opinion. The next version of the Rasengan doesn't have an official name in any of the guidebooks or in the manga, but it's the tailed beast version that Naruto used in part 1 when he was fighting against Sasuke, and he had the one-tailed version of the Kyuubi cloak when he was in that fight. The power borrowed from the Kyuubi to make this jutsu gives it a discolored appearance, and it's just epic when you consider the Kyuubi cloak is what's actually being used to help contain the jutsu as it spins. At this time, it was really cool to see this, since this is the first time that we saw Naruto use the jutsu with one hand and without the help of a shadow clone. Now, the next version of Rasengan is a version that relies on regular Sage mode, but it was pretty cool to see when it first debuted. This is the Sage Art Ultra Big Ball Spiraling Spear Rasengan. After going into Sage mode and using multi-shadow clone jutsu, Naruto infuses nature energy into the Rasengan. He then makes the clones pour their chakra to form the Big Ball Rasengan, and the army of shadow clones coordinate their attacks to strike their target simultaneously. The destructive power of this jutsu was enough that even the 1/2 version of the Kyuubi that Naruto faced was pressed and eventually stunned, which is pretty impressive when you consider sure how strong one half of the QB is. The Planetary Rasengan is a bit misleading in title since it isn't a jutsu that blows up a planet, though I'll leave it to the power scaling community to come up with a bunch of formulas and ideas on if it possesses enough energy to blow up a small planet or blow up a multi-dimensional omniversal being or whatever terms that get used. In order to use this jutsu, Naruto has to have his QB chakra mode and must first use the big ball Rasengan. After he does this, he forms 3 regular sized Rasengans that rotate around it, kind of like how the planets rotate around the sun. As for the chakra for the jutsu increases, as this happens, the attack can begin to form a small wave-like vortex, which is pretty cool to see. The Rasen Flash is one of the more interesting versions of the Rasengan since it's a wind style variation that can actually be fired off as a beam and can actually be used as the foundational piece of another jutsu that I'll cover later on. This jutsu was first used in Naruto the Last as well as in Naruto Shippuden anime episode 484 or 483, though it was never shown in the manga. For this jutsu, Naruto takes both the QB chakra and wind chakra and he mixes it together. This jutsu can either be used to shoot off a beam as shown in the anime or to propel himself through the air long distances as shown in Naruto the Last, giving it versatility and being either an offensive or support style jutsu to use in battle. The wind style Rasengan isn't to be confused with the Rasenshuriken. This is actually the Rasengan that was created before the Rasenshuriken jutsu, both of which use wind change and chakra nature. It first made its debut in Naruto chapter 330 of the manga and marked an incredible accomplishment for Naruto. It was here that a solid argument could be made that Naruto was on the path to surpassing his father, since Minato failed to add chakra nature to the Rasengan, as did Kakashi, which led to the latter creating the Chidori, as stated in the Naruto manga. Early on in Naruto needed 2 shadow clones to use this jutsu. One needed to shape the chakra as he formed it, and the other needed to add the wind change and chakra nature to it. While stronger than a normal Rasengan, the only thing separating in terms of appearance is the fact that the wind style Rasengan has wind chakra floating around the Rasengan nucleus. This was the foundation for what would go on to be the wind style Rasenshuriken jutsu. However, as Hokage, Naruto has brought back this jutsu, using it in the newest Sasuke novel when he incorporates the QB chakra into it as a jutsu to fire it off, similar to the Rasen Flash, only with more power packed inside of it. Wind release Ultra Big Ball Rasenshuriken was shown off after the Sasuke entered the battlefield towards the end of the Naruto manga, somewhere around volume 67. To use this jutsu, Naruto goes into his QB chakra mode and begins to form the Rasenshuriken, but as he adds the chakra to this jutsu, he uses 4 arms for the jutsu, and its size grows to the point where it dwarfs Naruto's summoning Gamakichi in size, and Naruto fires it off like a regular Rasenshuriken. In episode 305 of Shippuden, we saw the jutsu was powerful enough that it managed to smash through a barrier. Sage Art Super Tail Beast Rasenshuriken takes every Kekkei Genkai that Naruto gained from the Tail Beast and each of the signature chakras and infuses the Sage's 6 Paths chakra into the attacks. This means that even the acid from the 6 tails that hit Kaguya when Naruto whipped it out and came all over her face, mixing in with ink from the 8 tails and the blue flames from the 2 tails, all of this hit Kaguya, and the sealing effect of the 1 tail's magnet release kept Kaguya unable to move as she was forced to take each pounding from Naruto until he decided he was finished. Special chakra infused into this attack include wind, ink, acid, fire, magnet release, boil release, and even lava release. Wind style repeated Rasenshuriken jutsu can either be used in the Kurama mode or it can be used in Sage mode. When using this jutsu, Naruto forms a Rasenshuriken in each hand, which gives Naruto various uses that he can use it for. He can either fire them off one after the other, or he can use it as a melee weapon, cutting through a target with the spinning chakra blades of the Rasenshuriken, or depending on the battle situation, Naruto can use it as a defensive weapon to block. The jutsu first made its debut around chapter 614, 615, whichever chapter Neji died. Contrary to popular belief, the parent and child Rasengan wasn't debuted in the Boruto movie, but instead, it was first shown in the Naruto manga when Naruto and Minato used Cooperative Ninjutsu to form the attack. For the version that Naruto uses for his attack, Naruto and Minato both go into the QB chakra mode, and they then go into the avatar state. The sheer size of their Rasengan can arguably be put on the level of the QB avatar, though I think if you put it that high, you're probably highballing it. Though it was only used briefly, its power was enough that it briefly pushed back the Ten Tails Jinchuriki of Obito, which is a feat in itself given how powerful this version of Obito is. Now, for the Boruto version, things get a little bit trickier depending on which version of the story you go with, but I'll touch on that in a moment. The Boruto version is a collaboration ninjutsu as well, but it's a tad different. It starts off with Boruto forming a Rasengan, and then Naruto connects his chakra to Boruto by clasping his hand, and then he infuses his memories and chakra into the attack to increase its size. Make no mistake, this version is powerful as hell. It was shown completely wiping out the God Tree in the Boruto movie, and in the Boruto manga, it obliterated the Rasengan enhanced Rasengan of Momoshiki. Where things get really tricky is which version of the story you use for this jutsu. In the novel version of the Boruto movie, it was written in a way that the parent and child Rasengan acted in much of the way that Boruto's vanishing Rasengan did, which back in 2015 was stated to be a change in wind chakra nature before the anime retconned it into being a lightning style change in chakra nature. The novel also has language that makes it appear as if Boruto added chakra to the Rasengan after Naruto began to add chakra. The tailed beast ball Rasenshuriken is probably higher up the list for some of you guys, but for me it makes it the lower portion of this list simply because I'm not a big fan of the true seeking orbs. In order to use this jutsu, Naruto uses the QB to convert his true seeking orbs into a tailed beast ball, and then he adds wind chakra to the attack to increase its destructive power. When Naruto hurls this jutsu at his enemy, its power is great enough to wipe out the planetoid objects that are created by the Chibaku Tensei. The big ball Rasenshuriken is really underrated in my opinion. This jutsu is powerful, like really powerful. The attack was strong enough to hold down the reincarnated version of Madara and completely destroy Hashirama's wood dragon. The big difference between this jutsu and a regular Rasenshuriken is that the spear is significantly larger in size and it shines so bright that it can be seen from several kilometers away, and Naruto can continuously add chakra to the attack as he sees fit. The Sixth Path's Ultra Big Ball Rasenshuriken is one you're familiar with if you watch the anime version of Naruto vs Sasuke at the final fight during the end of Naruto Shippuden a bajillion times like I did. Naruto goes into Six Paths mode, then transforms into his QB avatar and mixes Six Paths Sage Chakra into it to build up the attack. He then makes two shadow clones. The shadow clones then merge into the original, creating a three-face, six-arm version of the QB avatar. The right arms make the wind release Ultra Big Ball Rasenshuriken, and the left arms make the tailed beast ball Rasenshuriken to add more punch to the attack. Naruto then infuses them with nature energy. The basic Rasenshuriken when it first debuted was scary enough that Tsunade forbade Naruto from using the attack due to the damage it caused Naruto as well as his enemy. To use this jutsu, Naruto molds chakra while his shadow clones worry about containing the chakra and adding wind chakra to it. Where it surpasses the wind release Rasengan is that it adds even more shape transformation to the the jutsu, which in itself is pretty impressive. The sheer amount of chakra needed for this jutsu is pretty big, since we've seen Naruto get exhausted even in the final war arc when he used the jutsu 3 to 4 times back to back. Another crazy part about this jutsu is the fact that after being hurled for a certain length of time, the jutsu automatically detonates, and the size of the blast itself is pretty large in size. In my opinion, the scariest thing about this jutsu is that anyone caught within the vortex of the attack is attacked on a cellular level, attacking the very chakra system, which inflicts so much damage that those who are hit with it can never use ninjutsu again, which is why Tsunade likened it to poison in Naruto chapter 346 and forbade the jutsu from ever being used again. To put this into perspective, once caught in the vortex of a direct attack of this jutsu, the number of microscopic blades that are created are so fast and too large in quantity for even a trained Sharingan to track it, as stated in chapter 341. The big ball Rasengan for me is one of the least impressive Rasengans, since it's just Naruto making an even bigger Rasengan than usual, though I will admit I'm really biased since it pissed me off that Naruto trained for 2.5 years with Jiraiya and the jutsu he showed off was a big ball Rasengan. If you look at it, it has the same principles as a basic Rasengan, but the sheer volume of chakra is so great that it releases energy upon impact, and the sheer density of the jutsu surpasses the Rasengan in terms of power. As Naruto got older in the series, he's able to form the big ball Rasengan with one hand, though in the manga, Naruto still needed a clone to at least help him form the jutsu, likely due to the sheer density, but he showed improvement in that he didn't need a clone to help him guide the jutsu. Now, coming in last is the Ultra Big Ball Rasengan, the very same attack that Naruto used on Madara when Madara was reanimated via Edo Tensei and wiped out the Shinobi Alliance faster than Jiraiya got his ribs cracked when he spied on Tsunade. As Hokage, Naruto requires 2 hands to form this jutsu because of the sheer volume of the Rasengan is several times that of his own body, but the attack forms instantaneously. The shockwave of the jutsu can send anyone nearby who hasn't braced themselves flying several feet away. In Naruto Data Book 3, it was stated that the Sage Mode version of this attack was so powerful it could carve away an entire mountainside with ease, which makes you wonder just how powerful the other variations of the Rasengan are, since the attack used by Jiraiya was put at mountain level in terms of destruction. And once again, I'll leave that to people who power scale, since that's more of their forte, and I don't want to go into calculations and equations and talking about how it's omniversal and multi-dimensional. Well guys, that's it for my video today, and like I said in the True Power version for Naruto, breaking down the Rasengan required a video in itself. Otherwise, we've been looking at 30 minutes just talking about how powerful Naruto is. So, which version of the Rasengan is your personal favorite? Let me know down in the comment section below. And as always, thank you for watching. Don't forget to comment, rate, subscribe, and share. Have an incredible day, guys.